Hello everyone and welcome to the Season 3 finale of Backtracking Part 2. Before I actually start it, I want to say, over the past week or so, I'll tease that there's a little surprise in this part. Okay, well, in the episode, but the surprise comes in this part. And I've said so many times on Facebook, I know Discord, you're going to know it when you see it, but let's just get to that when we get to it. Oh boy. Let's get right back into the backtracking. So yeah, we're going to get right back into part 2 of the finale with Eminem's 6th studio album, Relapse. Released in 2009 through Shady Aftermath and Interscope, no surprise there. This one was produced by Dr. Dre, Eminem, and Doc Ish, making this the first album since Eminem's debut to only have 3 producers. To put that into perspective, that's a 13-year time gap. And I thought it best to point this out now because the next 3 albums get fucking mental with the production crews, but we'll get to that when we get to it, oh boy. Anyway, it's fitting that I start part 2 by talking about Eminem's first album in 5 years at the time, and it's named Relapse mostly because of the real-life situation that Eminem was in at the time, due to an addiction to prescription drugs, mostly Valium and other ones to do with sleeping. It's also appropriate because it features the return of the Slim Shady character, someone who wasn't really seen in 9 years at this point unless you count one of the verses in My Dad's Gone Crazy. Anyway, understandably, because it was a hiatus, this album contains my first Eminem song that I'd heard in a while to that point with We Made You, and my god did it make me hate the hell out of Eminem at the time. It was sort of indicative of the Slim Shady character's return, I guess, and by that point I was more used to Eminem taking himself seriously. Then I listened to this album in full and ended up actually liking it, and I don't really know why. Something about a mid to late 30s at the time white rapper reverting to a psychotic, rapist, extremely offensive character should not be as good as it is. If Encore is the bad example of regression, then Relapse is the good kind. Well, I say good. Eminem himself admits to using too many weird accents for this, and I do have to agree. There's not many, but the weird sudden inclusion of him using Jamaican and Scottish voices in some songs is just odd. There are guests, but most of them appear on skits, oddly enough. The only ones who appear on songs are Dr. Dre and 50 Cent, who both appear on the song Crack a Bottle, whereas Dre also appears on the song Old Time's Sake. Dominic West appears on the Dr. West skits. Elizabeth Kinner appears on both the Tony and Mr. Mathers skits, appearing with Matthew St. Patrick on the letter. Paul Rosenberg appears on the Paul skit, and Angela Yee and Steve Berman appear on the Steve Berman skit. It's just weird, that. It's just weird. Anyway, the album structure is surprisingly well handled, with good builds and production proving that neither Eminem or Dr. Dre's lost a step after 5 years. Lyrically, it's more horrorcore rooted, going on about murder, rape, addiction, and being less serious, but it's saved by having some funny jokes and some surprisingly good multi-lines, which is something that was badly missing from Encore. Eminem, hopped up as he was on pills, puts in some good work here and sounds like he's having more fun, and even the guest spots are pretty good as well. Standout songs include Beautiful, Crack a Bottle, Insane, 3am, and my favourite, In Old Time's Sake. Relapse is likely to offend people, and I shouldn't like it as much as I do, but I just kinda do. It's pretty good despite its mixed reception, and I can recommend it. Against my bad judgment. I don't really know why. Next is his 7th album, Recovery, released in 2010 through the same labels as always. This one has 19 producers in it, and it's still not even the most on an Eminem album. Yeah. Anyway, here they are. Dr. Dre, Paul Rosenberg, Alex the Kid, Boy Wonder, Emil, Eminem, DJ Khalil, Havoc, JG, Jim Johnson, Jordan Evans, Just Blaze, Mr. Porter, Magneto 7, Makeba Riddick, Matthew Burnett, Nick Brongers, I hope I'm saying that right, Super Dups, Script Shepherd, and that's all of them. Whew. And there's still 2 more albums to go. Yay! Anyway, this album is a bit different from Eminem's usual fare. So different that it was going to be called Relapse 2, but was changed to Recovery mostly due to how different it was to Relapse, and it is to Relapse. Yeah, English. Namely, there's no Slim Shady character, no super funny or offensive songs, but there's still great production value and such. It contains Not Afraid, which much like We Made You, the song that made me dislike Eminem, Not Afraid made me like him again, so yay! The fact that Eminem didn't think that this album would be different is pretty astounding, and it's like the polar opposite of Relapse, much like Encore is the polar opposite of the Eminem Show. Also, oddly, this is the first Eminem album since his debut to not have any skits. And it's also the first Eminem album since Infinite to not have Dr. Dre as a guest on one of the songs. That's a 14-year time gap, and that's just absolutely insane. In many ways, it feels like a stepped-up sequel to Infinite, being more about fun and just enjoying the art of rap itself. There's fewer insults, and it's a versatile and more serious Eminem album without being boring or cliché. Even though the album is an hour and 17 minutes long, it doesn't feel dragged out, oddly, with the lack of skits being a huge help. Hell, through the album's 17 tracks, there's only 4 guest stars. Kobe appears on Talking to Myself, not the basketball player, by the way. Pink appears on One Back Down, Lil Wayne appears on No Love, and finally Rihanna appears on probably the most well-known song of the album, Love the Way You Lie. It's weird to think that there's 19 producers, which is enough to take care of 17 songs, but only 4 guest vocalists, and only one of those is an actual rapper, so that's a bit mental. Anyway, the album's got a very consistent pace and structure, and it's almost inspirational in a lot of ways in how it builds, so for 19 different producers to capture that similar feeling in different ways is absolutely amazing. Eminem's lyrics go over celebrity status, family life, love, and getting past old demons, recovering, if you will, which seems to be this album's main theme. Also, once again, great bars of fire, goodness gracious, multi-syllable rhymes, delivery, and just really, really good stuff. The guest spots are good and used well for the choruses and so on, and they just sound great. Standout songs include So Bad, White Trash Party, Not Afraid, Cold Wind Blows, and my favourite and almost famous. Taking a more serious tone but still having fun, Recovery is just a damn good album and the breath of fresh air that Marshall Mathers needed. I can recommend it. Next is the Marshall Mathers LP2, Eminem's 8th album, released in 2013 through the same labels and produced by Dr. Dre, Rick Rubin, Alias, Alex the Kid, Cardiac, DJ Khalil, DVLP, Emil, Eminem, Filthy, Frank Dukes, Frequency, Jeff Basker, Louis Resto, and Faces, S1 and Sid Ram, Street Runner, and Vincent Vendito. This is Eminem's longest album at just over an hour and 18 minutes. Considering that 7 of Eminem's 9 albums are just over an hour long, including the album after this one, I couldn't tell how long this was. Anyway, this album is a sequel to the Marshall Mathers LP, although clearly not a direct sequel considering the 13-year time gap hiatus included, and the 4 albums between as well. Having said that, I can't be too harsh on it because for one thing, it was my first Eminem album through and through, and for another thing, it's the only Eminem album that I've listened to on CD. And I still like it as much as now as I did back then, maybe even more so now, so yeah, despite being 41 by the time that this album came out, Eminem still sounds like he's in his 20s and still looks that way too. Makes me a bit jealous, because I'm in my 20s and I look like I'm in my mid-30s. It's weird. Even without a sequel, sort of, it doesn't dip too much into the ways of old with Eminem. In fact, a lot of the album is more self-deprecating and self-aware in a way that even some of his Slim Shady stuff wasn't, you know? He sort of tapped into that with Recovery, but didn't start fully addressing it until this album. It's a good little narrative that makes me all happy and warm inside. He does get help too. Sarah Jeffy, I hope I'm saying that right, appears on the song Bad Guy. Skylar Grey appears on Asshole. Rihanna appears on The Monster. Kendrick Lamar appears on Love Game. And finally, Nate Roos appears on Headlights. What, you know, Nate Roos, the lead singer of Fun, the band that are famous because of Glee. There you go. Anyway, as good as this album is, a lot of people weren't fans of Survival, the first song released from the album. I like that song personally, but the one that got people hyped was obviously Berserk, which is another song I like. In fact, I like a lot of the songs on the album. It's got really good structure, samples and beats, even tapping into some of Eminem's old songs run as callback for the nostalgia fans, making for some pretty fun production. Lyrics go over love, having fun, family life, and Eminem's own struggles and how far he's come, obviously joined with awesome rhymes of Eminem himself. He puts in a great performance on the mic, sounding quick, easy to listen to, and just like he's having fun again. The guest spots obviously are also great, all used well and not overstaying their welcome in any way. Standard songs include So Far, Headlights, Berserk, Rhyme or Reason, and my favourite in Legacy. The Marshall Mathers LP2 is Eminem at some of his best and most fun again, with great lyrics, production, callbacks, and performances, and I can recommend this one a whole hell of a lot. And finally, we reach Eminem's 9th album, Revival. Released in 2017, it's the same labels and similar producers in 20, so let's go through those in rap form. Yes, this is the surprise, because why? I'll tell you. I need to do something special for this season finale, and I'll be damned if I just end it in 2 parts with giving you nothing. So, enjoy or skip ahead, whichever works for you, and I deeply apologise. I'm going to drink some water really quick. Here goes nothing. The first producer has a lot to say, and you guys know him as Dr. Dre. Next to his Ghost Style, That Tricks Humans, has got the big gun, it's your boy Rick Rubin. There's next to his Enough for Not Failing Us, it's not AKA, it's Alias. Before you all start having a fit, the next dude's name is Alex the Kid. Whenever people say, we hate Emil, hey, at least you all like DJ Khalil. Gotta keep the flow going with appeal, the next producer is my man Emil. This one's got the strength of many men, he's the subject of the episode. It's Eminem. Maybe I'm too crazy and I need my head checked. Yo, could you come and help me, Frederick? It's all awesome as far as we can see. Tune in for the next dude's frequency. You all know that I'd rather be a thriller than a loser, and I need some help from Illa the producer. No playing around, so put down your shit toys. The next one's a better game. It's a hit, boy. The next line could be something that must phase, but you keep on getting high and just blaze. You won't make me fall through each test. No, because my teacher was Luis Resto. All the people seem to do is hog factions. What better squad leader than Mark Batson? Now this is all sounding like twisted torture. I was taught by a true psycho and Mr. Porter. I messed that up. I'm sorry. There's now only 4 more lines to get through, and if you hated it before, then F you. I never thought that I would get the Code of God back here. After it's a rap, I'll rejoin the Rock Mafia. This next line so fast that you slap your hand bones. If you can't deal with it, then scram, Jones. The end is close, it seems miles away. There's no fog, but there is some skylar grey. And to download the track, then head to TorrentSnet. It doesn't exist, unlike Trevor Lawrence. So there's all 20 of the producers covered in rap form. I hope you didn't enjoy it, because if you did, there's something wrong with you. So let's talk about the actual album now. So yeah, 20 producers, maybe more than any other album that I've covered before in the entirety of this series, and that's considering that I've covered albums where the bands put themselves as producers, so there's that. There are guest stars here, man, fucked if I do another rap for them, so let's just talk about them normally. Beyonce appears on Walk on Water, Fresher appears on the song Chloroseptic, Ed Sheeran appears on the song River, Alicia Keys appears on the song Like Home, Ex-Ambassadors appear on the song Bad Husband, Skylar Grey appears on the song Tragic Endings, Kehlani appears on the song Now Fast, and finally Pink appears on the song Need Me. Once again, that's a lot of people, so you think that this album is overstuffed, right? Well, yeah, it kind of is, and yet it's still somehow all about Eminem. It's probably a weirder album by him, to be honest. It's not unusual for a rap album to not know what it wants to do, but it's unusual for Eminem to not know what he wants to do. It's just a very confusing one, but it's not boring like Encore was. However, I agree that some critics find this album weirdly regressive, and the production is a bit bland at times, even having a few too many rock beats. I can't help but feel like Eminem looks at himself naked in the mirror as he rapped on this one, and in all honesty, it's important to see that he's having fun, but when there are the guest stars who are easily his most popular on any album in this case feel like second fiddle, it's kind of a waste of good guest stars who are mostly there to sing a chorus and that's it. I don't have much issue with the lyrics, as dumb as they can be, but I hate the overwhelming feeling of narcissism and just feeling like we've been here before. It doesn't suffer completely from laziness, just uncomfortable familiarity, and considering that this album came out 4 years after the Marshall Mathers LP2, you think that the feeling would be gone by now. Structurally, it doesn't feel too different from usual fare, with some new things tried but not enough. Lyrically, it goes over status, media, fame, relationships, and some politics too, and even though there's some good humour, it feels too similar to old stuff, and there's not really enough balance. Eminem's pretty good when he's not stroking himself all over the album, and the guest spots could have been so much more, I just feel. I don't know, they were kind of robbed. Standout songs include Remind Me, River, Framed, Tragic Endings, and my favourite and closing song, A Rose. It's got good intentions and it's a funny enough album, but it's unfocused, imbalanced, and just kind of wasteful. I can't recommend this one fully, but it's good for maybe a listen or two. So, for the last time this year, I'm still not over how crap that rap was. Let's round them up. Most favourite is Marshall Mathers LP because fucking duh. It's challenging, brutal, and amazing, really pushing the boundaries of what rap could be and who Eminem could be too as a person. Least favourite is, as much as I hate Revival, I still have to go with Encore because at least Revival is done fun, and Encore is just boring, competitive, and so same old, same old. It's just not... Yeah, I just don't feel anything. At least with Revival, I feel something. You know, I don't feel anything with Encore, except Sleepy. So, yeah. I will see you all soon for the next video, which should be a UFC review, and you can look forward to Season 4 of Backtracking at some point next year. I enjoyed this season, and I'll see you all soon. Probably after my UFC review, I'll do the 10 facts you might not have known about Ultimate Fighter seasons. That'd be cool. Anyway, thank you for listening. You're awesome. Bye-bye. It's over. Adios.